As she ate the soup, she thought of the two boys that have saved her, enjoyed the soup very much. Ever since that day, she would have soup whenever she could. The years passed by, and as it approached the princess' 21st birthday, the kings thought, as kings thought often do, turned to the marriage of his only daughter and finding a suitable prince for Effie. Did you